All right. Hey guys, what's going on? My name's Chris Huckiz, and this is Your Best Life Defined. How you doing today? I'm doing pretty good. I've actually had a moment of enlightenment, if you want to call it that. I'm sitting there and I'm thinking about this cell phone and social media, the two things I tend to complain about the most because the way that most people use them is it's a distraction to your life. It doesn't add anything to your life as far as help you achieve your goals or make your life easier. What it is, it's a way for us to get away from the life we've created. Kind of like alcohol, kind of like drugs. Oh, and I know people are going like, whoa. Let me tell you, both social media and your phone are the perfect tool for doing certain things. When you think about your phone was created by manufacturers who created it so that you would buy it. They wanted to make money. It's a product. For the internet providers and all the people that supply you with that technology to where you have access to the internet and to Facebook and to social media, it's the perfect tool to reach out to people they've never met. You can reach out to anyone. What's sad is anyone can reach out to you too. So from the standpoint of the advertisers that you get hit with on a regular basis, I think it's probably 10,000 times a day or some ridiculous number like that, right? It's the perfect tool. They get to you. And what's interesting is some people say, well, I don't mind it because if Google tracks my habits on the internet, then they feed me information that supports my goals, right? Which is true to a degree, as long as you have the willpower to step away from those choices and clearly define where you're going before you get there. But there's where the problem comes in. Not all of us have that self-discipline. Not all of us have the ability to step away from those alluring ads, those ideas that get planted in our head by these ads we watch and by things we see on social media and on the internet that actually get us thinking. It's like, oh man, yeah, I could use a new truck. RVs are cheaper. Zero down, right? Yeah, it's a perfect tool for reaching out, reaching in our pocket. So I've been hating on it, right? But the reality is this. It's a perfect tool for you as well, because it all comes down to how you use it. That phone, since I revamped how I use my phone has become my go-to. I have it. It's my organizer. It keeps track of my schedule. It is my organizer, and it keeps track of my podcasts and the things I do. It keeps me in communication with the world around me, right? I use it. I do social media. I do LinkedIn. I do Facebook. I do Twitter and Instagram, right? But it's in the way that we use that tool that actually where we actually harvest the benefit, right? I don't spend hours on end looking at my phone, looking at other people's lives. Is it alluring? Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, that's why so many people do. That's why you go in a restaurant on a Saturday afternoon or evening and you look around and I think you'll be hard pressed to find anyone who isn't looking at their phone, right? There's going to be someone at every table who has actually got that phone up in their face. Does that make it a perfect tool? Well, it depends on what they're using it for. See, in that instance, what they're doing is they're using it to escape the current situation. Apparently, what they have going on that phone is way more interesting than what they're doing or what's going on at that table, right? Well, when you use it like that, it's not a perfect tool, unless, of course, your goal is to be completely distracted and disconnected. Now, on the other hand, you have that phone like I do, and you use it for certain applications. I use it for research. I've gotten to really rely on my phone for the video. The video quality is actually really good, and I'm kind of learning how to shoot those videos, and it's cool. So it's a perfect tool for that. I can produce a video just like that, really, really trouble-free videos, right? Perfect tool. But when you use it to pull yourself out of your life, when you use it's not just the phone, it's not just social media, it is anything that pulls you out of active engagement in your life, then you're not using it the way you should. Now, some people say, well, if I want to sit on the phone and surf social media for 20 hours a day, that's my business. No, I agree, it is, and you can make that choice. I'm not telling you can't, but the name of this podcast is Your Best Life Defined. Does that kind of behavior actually enhance your life? Here's the funny thing is, the facade I get from video gamers is, that's cool. I love it, right? I play video games. That's what I do. And what's funny is that's fine. But if you're going to use that tool, if you're going to engage that tool, then use it to its fullest extent. Just don't go halfway with it, right? Don't go sit in your underwear in your basement playing video games for the hell of it. If you're going to use that tool, then use it. Sit in your basement in your underwear playing video games with a defined goal and deadline that you're going to compete and turn that activity into something that benefits you. They do have video game competitions. I'm sure they do. I've seen it before on TV. And I haven't seen it so much since COVID, but yeah, it's there, right? Like I said, I use my phone. The video on my phone is cool. I've got an app on my phone that I couldn't quite figure out how to use, right? And then I figured it out, and it's like, okay, here we go. It's all about the numbers. And now I got one more tool in my toolbox. I can whip out that phone and make a video like that. And that idea applies to everything in our life. That's how you gauge your success. That's how you gauge whether you're able to get the job done. If you drink alcohol, let's say that you drink alcohol and it's an enhancement to your relationship. Once a week you have date night and you go out and have a glass of wine, spend some quality time with the person you love, right? And you're just doing your thing. And it makes you closer. It brings you closer together. That's a perfect tool. Shit, do it. Use that tool. Use it every weekend. Talking nice to your partner, taking the time to say, hey, wow, look at your hair. Just being engaged. Engagement is a tool. It's a tool, and it's a tool even if it's not in your partner. Let's say you engage in other things to avoid your partner. It's a tool. Keeps you from having to talk to them. Doesn't do much for your relationship. See, I was all over this thing about making judgments about your life and about the house and the cars and all the stuff you have. And I'm backing away from that because really when it comes down to it, if you have those things in your life and they represent tools that you need in order for you to execute your life, well, hell, that's great. But that brings me to the other question about that. What about all those boxes of tools in the garage that you don't look at, you don't use? You just move the boxes around about every 6 months after the kids get out there and get to digging around and for some crap, right? Not a perfect tool if it makes you work harder. Not a perfect tool if it makes your life worse. I mean, a guy, he plays music, so he goes out to the club every Friday and Saturday night. He's in a band. They do a real good job, but what's it doing to his home life? If it's perpetuating a dream of his to live a better life, to wake up one day and say, hell yeah, I get this, right? Hell yeah, I'm engaged. Yeah, I'm going places. American Idol, here I come. I suppose it's a perfect tool. But if he's using it to escape the house, to have an excuse to drink and to hang out with people other than his family, maybe not. Maybe not. How many tools do you have in your toolbox right now that you're using improperly or you're not using to its fullest potential? I don't know. I look at people and they're like, well, I can't. Do you realize you can learn almost anything on YouTube right now? Almost anything. And if you can't watch it on YouTube, you can read about it. That phone you have, that's more powerful than the computers of the 60s, right? Big old rooms full of computers. That phone is more powerful than that. And it's a tool. You have access to any information you want. You have access to all kinds of information you want. What kind of information are you gathering? And what more importantly than that, what is that information doing for you? See, here's the thing. This whole podcast thing, this whole story I keep telling, it's about action. This game doesn't work if you don't move. And for those of you who aren't ready to move, I can imagine you're only going to listen to so much of this because it doesn't fit. These shoes don't fit you. Because just like that phone and just like social media, this is your tool. I'm giving it to you. This is your tool. This is how you're going to figure out how to pick what you love to do, take action consistently until you get there. It's a tool. I'm training you. I'm trying to train you. And if you're resistant, if you're sitting there going, no, that doesn't make any sense, I'm happy, well, then don't even mess with it. Don't use this tool. That's kind of a funny analogy, but it's really true. Coming into your Friday, right? Coming into your Friday. Let's look about your Friday. Let's see, it's springtime in the Rockies, so people are out doing lawns and yard work and all that stuff. So I'd imagine, let me ask you this. Here's a question for you. If you look at what you're going to do tomorrow or this weekend or the next 10 weekends because it's summertime or springtime, what are those things that you're going to do? How do they benefit you in the long run? How do they make your life better? I mean, when you think about that big yard, all that grass, all that stuff you have to take care of, is that the perfect tool for you to live the life you want to live? This is where you're going to have to be honest with yourself. Because it may be, if in fact you wake up inspired, you find inspiration in what you're doing, and it takes you in a direction that you want to go, right? But what happens in most cases? I bet there's not too many people out there that are swimming in debt right now, surrounded by things in their lives that they've chosen that have nothing to do with making their life better. Big ass trucks, big ass truck payments, right? Big ass house, working all the time to pay for it, right? So that you can say, ooh, I'm happy, right? If you want to get the job done, you've got to have the right tools. And it's ideal if you grab the perfect tool. And what you look at as your tools, the things we have around us now are amazing. The cell phones, social media. Social media is the only way that I'm going to be able to reach you. I mean, I could do it another way. I was talking to my grandson about that, because there's this cancel culture, right? And they just stop sharing, and they just squash your social media presence. And I was thinking, well, yeah, but there's still the people presence. Is it easy? Not quite as easy, but you can still get the job done. But social media is a tool. It's a tool to take your life in the direction you want it to go. The question is the way you're using it doing that? I have no fault with it. I use social media every day. I use my phone every day because they're perfect tools. They give us benefits and access to things we would normally not have, and they give us the ability to change our life. And it's only by taking a look at that tool and evaluating what it can do for you based on where you want your life to go. But to sit on the phone and mindlessly waste time doesn't make it exactly that great of a tool. So keep that in mind. Take a look around. I mean, there's all kinds of distractions and these things we have around us. There's two sides to every story. And the truth is that phone, social media, everything we do has two sides to it. And if you're using it for the right purpose, with the right intentions, it'll take you wherever you want to be. But how many times are we not doing that, right? How much time is wasted simply because it's an easy way out? So I don't know, guys. Hey, listen, I appreciate you showing up every day. Kind of feeling a little bit off my mark. I hope you'll bear with me, and I'm seeing we get some energy in these next few podcasts. But until next time, just remember, today's your day. Make it a good one.